What sales channels are working in 2023? So the first one that I would suggest is getting outbound email. It is still a staple. It has not been clamped down on. It's producing massive volume. We're getting great intention data from different services out there to be able to target why someone would have the right timing and intention to be part of your business. I love outbound email. It's my number one. It's easy to understand, easy to guide, and once you master it, it will be a staple for driving money in your business and revenue through those salespeople. Number two, texting. Texting is great, especially with those inbound leads when they're following up. It's a great way to get them involved, sees who's active, sees who's serious, put it part of your qualification, part of your follow-ups, part of your nurture. Texting is quintessential in keeping things together and quick in a sales process. Without it, it's like cutting off a limb. It just doesn't make sense, but most people aren't incorporating that well within their tech stacks. They're relying on an outbound email flow potentially, maybe just good old-fashioned cold calls, and this isn't sustainable. What we know is that if you text someone before a cold call, you have a 30% higher chance of a pickup. So when you're putting these in your sequences and your cadences, remember that it's important to test this. It's intent and understand the iterations around text. So go out there, pick the best text provider you can, put it part of your stack and make it happen. Number three is LinkedIn. It is a good old piece of gold, but I'm going to tell you how it's changed, what's not working, and what is working. First off, it's pretty saturated. We're bombarded with messages from sequences and automations. Well, here's the big thing. Right now, Microsoft owning LinkedIn is cracking down on the people using automations. So if you're using it now, it will be dead in the next 6 months. And unless you have perfect variation using AI, and then still your volume's probably going to get hit. So the past days of how LinkedIn was being used are going to change. So there's content strategies that go with sales strategies at the same time on LinkedIn. First off, you got to be adding people in your market. Sales Navigator is a great program to do that, from business size all the way through to who's the decision maker, to who's moved positions in the last little while, which can be a good marker for change and using a potential service. The second thing you're going to look at is how are you pushing content out to the people after they're following you to inspire conversations. So you look for that. And then the third is who's looking at you? Are you connecting with them? Are you talking to them? Are you messaging new contacts? That's something that's valuable. I like to look into the business and say, hey, I see a couple things that you guys could improve from an outside perspective. Do you want to address those together? Welcoming conversations. I use voice, I use video. These are different ways of interacting with your audience that seem more authentic than some random V8 message that's going out. So what we want to do is focus on authenticity with LinkedIn this year. Now, number four, probably key, most important of all advice is working your partnership channels and your affiliate channels. Most people are forgetting to glean these as salespeople, but how do you do this at a high level? There's a few elements of developing a really good partner strategy. The first is knowing how to help them to help you. So I like to learn my partner's products and I like to be able to refer to them so they refer to me. The I scratch your back, you scratch mine. It works really well. It's old-fashioned, but it's developed well. And how do you deliver value? How do you track it? How do you sustain that? And then how do you help the other partner improve and how do they help you improve? So investing in one another produces those great relationships. And most salespeople, well, I don't have time to interact with so many people. Well, usually about 3 to 8 key relationships can be the difference between the multi-million dollar salesperson and the $1 million salesperson. The people who go from 1 million to 10 million is they feed those relationships that feed them and they learn that reciprocity in between it. So number 4 is that partner channel, and most people aren't focused within it. And number 5, when you're looking at what's working from these perspectives, it's combination of nurture and outbound. So outbound's a different environment than it's ever been before, and people ignore their current list. This bugs me. You spend all this money attracting it, and then you're not nurturing it correctly. You're not even spending time on it. You're like, oh, I have to focus on inbound leads again. I have to do X, Y, Z. I'm waiting on marketing to feed me here. Well, internally, we look at our sales lead that we have a smarketing meeting each week. to determine which is the best thing to target. Is it by area territory? Is it by industry? Is it by value proposition? Is it by need in the market? What intentions are we going for? And how are we building our collateral to attack those intentions? So the idea that people are just leaving these lists of tens of thousands of people alone doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And number 6 from our outbound, kind of focus like partnerships, affiliates do. But let's go to number 6. That's referrals. Younger salespeople, I'm saying that millennials and younger, I'm a millennial, ignore this. They ignore that referral piece. When you're in front of someone, ask for a referral. Turn a no into a referral. Because if you've had good rapport with someone, which we haven't, like 80% of our conversations, 90% is talented salespeople, they're saying no to us right now. Maybe it's timing, maybe it's product market fit, something like that. Maybe you had to refer them to somebody else because you couldn't solve their problem, but you can ask for a referral. What are we doing? So many of us forget to do this simple thing. Hey, I think we had a great conversation. Do you feel like, yeah, do you feel like added value? Yes, great. So you reaffirm those things and you just say, hey, would you be able to refer me over to a couple of people that you think could use what we had? Most people will say yes, but the answer to every question we don't ask is no. So this is an important line. Have a great referral program that you bring in. It's different from partnership and affiliate because at the end of the day, you're really working in unison with them. Those are very like ingrained partnerships, like best friends you hang out with all the time. When referrals are just like day to day, how do you ask for referrals? Right? And then how do you get referrals? Then that can turn into partnerships over time. The best partnerships start as referrals. And that's how you go back and forth and help one another build. But unless you have a great referral program, you'll never have a good partnership program. Right? It's step 1 to step 2, and that's how those things work together. So I want to encourage you. We talked about 6 forms of outbound reach out that are working amazing to generate leads this year. Other than that, it's inbound strategy. We'll talk about that in other videos, but we're really, really excited to show you what's coming in 2023 in the rest of our videos. So, hey, give us a like, give us a follow, all those good things. If you captured value from here, hey, we love you. Thank you for being here. We're going to be bringing you some really cool content throughout the year. So stay tuned in and we'll bring you the best value you can. Thanks for spending time. I'm Jordon Rouse. Good to see you.